Resistance is futile.
There is absolutely nothing at all. I've been painting my pee jug. Still very, very drunk. Hello and welcome to the video. If you're new here, I'm Brenna, this is Abby, and we've spent the last 2 and a bit years living in our self-converted Toyota Hiace camper van, traveling around Australia. In this video, I'm going to be answering questions that you, the viewer, have been asking in the comments. All right, let's go. Okay, the first question I get asked a lot in the comments, and it relates specifically to Western Australia, but I think it applies to other places in Australia, and that is, do I worry about the 1080 baits with traveling with a dog? So, 2 parts to this answer. First of all, I don't worry about anything because, as the Borg said,
resistance is futile.
So there's no point in worrying about anything. It doesn't solve the problem. It's just a waste of your energy. If you have a problem, accept it, deal with it, make a plan, do the plan. Don't worry. So when it comes to the 1080 baits, it's very well signed. So you never have to question, is this an area with baits or not? It's always really well signed. And where I see a sign that says there are baits, Abby doesn't go. So there'll be the odd occasion where I will camp somewhere overnight where they have baits, and in that case I will pull in. Abby does not get out of the van. I go in at night, I'll sleep, I'll get up in the morning and I'll leave. Abby just doesn't leave the van. Again, if there's an area with baits, Abby does not get out of the van. I just don't even go to those areas because I don't want to have to worry about my dog. So it's very well posted, very easy to avoid. Another question that I get is about the height of my van. I have a low top van, so I've had questions like, do I struggle not being able to stand up? Do I wish that I had a high top van? So I've thought about this a lot, especially for what my next van will be. And I don't think I will ever go with a high top, mostly for the convenience of being able to get into underground parking lots and go through drive-throughs. But what I would like to do is a pop top. So at the moment, I don't struggle with not being able to stand up, but it would be nice in the future to have that as an option to stand up, but still be able to get into, like I said, underground parkings and things. So no, I don't struggle with not being able to stand up. I don't wish I had a high top, but my next van will be a pop top. Another question I get is, do I stay at Caravan Parks? And if you watched the video I did a few months ago, I paid $30 for this. Yes, I stay at Caravan Parks quite frequently, on and off, depending on what state I'm in. So I will stay at a caravan park when I want to, when I feel need to. Yeah, I'll do whatever I want. This is my life. If I want to stay at a caravan park, I will. And if you want to see what I do at a caravan park, you can go watch that video. Yeah, caravan parks are part of my van life. Another question I get is, am I planning on getting a drone? And a lot of people are talking about Starlink now. So yes, I would definitely like to get a drone for those really awesome shots, and I would love to get Starlink, and they are both on my wish list, and when I feel that I really need them or they're affordable for me, then I will definitely get them. Do I have friends that I meet up with in the van? The answer to this is yes. I have friends that I have met on the road that I meet up with. There was a couple I met in South Australia the first time I came through in 2020, beginning of 2020, I can't remember now. But anyway, when I first came through South Australia, I met this couple. We exchanged phone numbers, we kept in touch, and when I came through last time, I caught up with them. It was really nice, and if there's things on the screen, there's flies going across the camera. So I caught up with them, and there are other people I have met in different states, and we've exchanged phone numbers, and sometimes I just chat to people. But yeah, there are definitely people I'm meeting up with, and subscribers. I've already met my first subscriber, Steph. Hi, Steph. And we're planning on maybe doing a little trip together. We're just negotiating that as I'm filming this video. But yeah, I definitely do meet up with people on the road, and it's really nice to catch up with people that I met the first time I came to a state. One question I get is, what do I do all day or at night in the van? Like, what do I do? Especially if I'm somewhere where it's remote, there's no internet, there's no television. What do I do? I have lots of hobbies. I recommend you have hobbies that don't require technology when you live in a van. So I really got into art, and lately I've been painting rocks. I've been painting my pee jug, and I've got plans to paint some cards. I've got some really good plans for painting. I read, I love to read. I'm starting to write short stories. I play with the dog, cuddle the dog, I'll meditate, I'll just sit and enjoy the view, I'll talk to people if there's other people around. There's lots of things to do in the van. I've got jigsaw puzzles. I actually have a board and I have jigsaw puzzles that I do. So there's lots of things to do in the van that don't require technology, and I highly recommend that if you're moving into a van, get a hobby that doesn't require technology. One really interesting question I had is there anything I missed that I had to give up? Now, this would have been a hard question to ask before last year, but when I went to house sit for my sister, it was a good time for me to see, is there anything about living in a house that I miss? I've got to tell you, the answer is no. There was not one single thing that I missed. There was one thing that was nice, and that was the access to ice, because I don't have a freezer, but I don't miss it. It's kind of like a luxury. There is absolutely nothing at all that I miss that I gave up from living in a house now that I live in my van. Do I feel secure in remote areas? 100% yes, and I'll tell you why. The bigger the population, the bigger the crime. When I'm out in the middle of nowhere, people aren't driving around randomly hoping somebody's there to attack or whatever. I feel a lot less safe in a city or a big town than I do in a remote area. The chances of somebody coming across somebody that wants to hurt me is very slim, very slim. So I feel very safe in remote areas. In my videos, I talk about how I'll camp in one place for weeks, and I get a lot of people questioning, like, where can you camp for weeks? And a lot of those people, I think, are from Queensland. And I haven't been to Queensland yet, so I don't know what the camping is like there. But I know West Australia, South Australia, Tasmania have places where you can camp for 4 weeks or longer, 7 weeks. Yeah, so there are definitely places you can camp for more than 2 weeks around Australia, and they maybe are just not in Queensland. I use the WikiCamps app, and that will usually tell you how long you can stay for. Also, sometimes the locals will let you know. There's a few unofficial campsites I go to, and it's like privately owned, but they don't mind you camping there as long as you respect the place, respect the area, and you can camp for longer. So there are lots of places you can camp more than 2 weeks, maybe just not in Queensland. Have I ever had any scary experiences? All right, I had one experience which I wouldn't call scary, but I was very cautious. So I wasn't scared, but I chose not to stay. So I was camped at a spot which turned out to be a very popular spot with like young surfers and things like that in Western Australia. And I don't know if you know, but a lot of the surfers in that, they have high aces like mine. Anyway, there was a local that pulled in with his wife and 2 kids in the back, and the guy was very, very drunk, and his wife was driving, 2 very young children in the back, in car seats. Anyway, he pulled in, he started yelling and making noises and everything, and I closed my sliding door. My sliding door was facing away from him. I closed my sliding door. I thought, oh, this is a bit sus. Then he got out and he reversed the car down beside my van. And at that point, I'm like, I'm getting in the front. So I got in the front seat, and that's when his wife saw me. And they were surprised because they thought it was going to be like a young surfer guy or woman. So she was surprised, and he came round and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you and everything, and he's telling me all this stuff. Oh, I live here, I did this. And he was rambling on, but he was still very, very drunk. Anyway, it took them a long time, maybe about 5 or 10 minutes of him rambling on to me with me sitting in the driver's seat before they finally left. And then I said, I'm leaving, and I left that spot and I went to the closest small town where I knew they had a 24-hour stop where you could stop there, and I just camped there. So that would be the scariest thing I've ever had. Like I said, I wasn't really scared. I just felt maybe uncomfortable, and I didn't think I wanted to stay there that night. This next question I just got on my last video when I did my expenses, and that is, how do I get scripts on the road? So I don't know what works for everyone else, but I'll tell you what works for me. So I don't take any medication except for hormone replacement, and I do the Troches. I don't know if you've heard of that. So it's a compounding thing, they make it custom for you. I have spoken to my doctor, she knows I'm traveling, and I said, are you happy to manage me remotely? And she said, yes, she manages people from all around the world. So what I do is she emails me my blood tests that I have to do every 6 months. I'll go and get my blood test done. The results get sent to her. We can have a phone discussion to discuss the results, and then she'll refill my script, or we can adjust it accordingly. So I'm not sure what other doctors will do, but that is what I do for something that I need ongoing management with. So yeah, it's very manageable on the road. Just ask your doctor, how can I manage this while I'm traveling? That's all the questions that I have for today. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments. I do always answer your questions straight away, but sometimes the ones I think are really interesting, I'll write down and make a note for the next Q&A that I'll do probably in about 3 months' time. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Please take care, everyone. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.